Just before trading began on September 14th, 1989, 7 AIDS activists snuck into the New York Stock Exchange. They walked in through the Broad Street entrance, having falsified Bear Stearns badges, and filed in with the crush of brokers and traders. Underneath their two-piece suit business drag, they concealed everything needed for the morning's action. Marine air horns, 2 cameras loaded with high ASA film, a handwritten banner, metal chains, handcuffs without keys, and wads of fake paper cash. As those 7 activists walked into the New York Stock Exchange, the AIDS crisis was entering its 9th year and showed no signs of abating. The United States would soon pass 90,000 AIDS deaths, and without a single safer sex initiative from the federal government, infections continued to climb. There was but one approved medication to stem the HIV virus: AZT. Though AZT sometimes provided short-term benefits, its debilitating side effects deterred many from taking it, and the drug had no long-term efficacy. There were no promising treatments on the horizon, much less a cure or a vaccine. Inside the exchange, 2 of the 7 peeled off and stood on the floor, readying their cameras. The other 5 ducked underneath a rope and climbed a staircase that led to a balcony, which overlooked the exchange's storied floor. Then they threaded their metal chains through the balcony's spindles and locked themselves into place in the hopes of delaying their inevitable arrests. Then they lowered their banner, which read, "Sell Welcome," an imperative to ditch the stocks of Burroughs Wellcome, the pharmaceutical company that manufactured AZT. At the time, AZT was the most expensive pharmaceutical ever brought to market, and it was one of Burroughs Wellcome's biggest profit makers. Seconds before the opening bell commenced trading, they pulled out their air horns. That day, nobody inside the exchange heard the ringing of the opening bell. If those on the trading floor didn't immediately understand the demonstration's purpose, it soon became clear. Fake $10, $20, and $100 bills began raining over the floor. The back of each denomination respectively read, "White heterosexual men can't get AIDS. Don't bank on it. Why are we here? Because your malignant neglect kills. Fuck your profiteering. People are dying while you play business." The front of each bill was unaltered, save for the Treasury signature, which had been replaced with a cursive script logo, that of the artist collective Gran Fury. Producing images, branding, and rhetoric, Gran Fury's 10 members described themselves as a band of individuals united in anger and dedicated to exploiting the power of art to end the AIDS crisis. It was a collective born out of ACT UP, the AIDS Coalition to Unleash Power, a grassroots group dedicated to ending AIDS, which had begun in New York City before blossoming into a worldwide movement with almost 150 chapters. This demonstration at the New York Stock Exchange epitomizes how Gran Fury was integral to ACT UP's efforts. Though ACT UP identified the pharmaceutical company Burroughs Wellcome as a target and organized the demonstration itself, Gran Fury supplied much of the action's messaging, and ACT UP's successes often relied upon the sloganeering of Gran Fury's posters, stickers, t-shirts, pins, and billboards. The stock exchange demonstration also shows the effectiveness of these combined efforts. Just days later, Burroughs Wellcome reduced AZT's price by 20%. ACT UP is perhaps the most well-branded protest movement ever, and that's largely due to Gran Fury, whose members often thought about their work in relation to the field of advertising. To aid ACT UP's efforts, Gran Fury employed marketing concepts traditionally reserved for selling products, but to much different ends. Gran Fury's bloody handprint graphic, for example, branded one of ACT UP's most successful demonstrations, Seize Control of the FDA, which demanded the FDA overhaul its approval process for HIV and AIDS medications.